Computers. Our worlds are their own. It is the foundation of technology that has shaped the 21st century. Computers have made such a significant impact on society that people cannot step out of their house without grabbing their phones. It is so essential to own a computer because technology has been implemented within many careers, education, and has developed into more of a necessity than a desire. Although computers have their efficient functions and are a beneficial tool, they can have many severe physical, mental, and emotional effects on you, the consumer.
It's the 21st century, and let's be honest and say that we invest a lot of our time and money into computers and computing devices, getting the latest phone or computer trying to just show them off. But do we really have a clear understanding of how they might affect us negatively? Computers can take a toll on one mentally. And to support this, new research shows that 25,000 people agreed that 5 hours of screen time influence an employee's mental health and increases the risk of developing depression and insomnia. You see, the more the screen time and opportunity that we have being exposed to a computing device, the more addicted we eventually become to it. However, people who are addicted don't know that they are until an event comes up where they are forced to stay away from that device, but just can't. They can't comprehend staying away for that amount of time, and can trigger emotions where the individual feels as if they are nothing without the device to occupy their time. But when we talk about devices of such capability, not only are we talking about a traditional computer like a desktop or a laptop, but it also includes smartphones, a tablet, or really any other device that can execute the same task. We've been so in tune with what's going on in our phones, our computer life, if you may, that we constantly check for messages, calls, emails, or alerts of some sort. This simple action can show that we have FOMO, which is basically the fear of missing out. When we see that we have no messages or alerts from anybody, we feel sad, lonely almost, and think that nobody cares about us to even send a message, which can trigger both anxiety and depression. In addition to this, when completing a task, we become so impatient that we instantly switch tabs to social media, YouTube, or other sources to see what's going on in the news, to see what's going on with the trends, just to waste time instead of getting our work done. When doing this, it shows that we can't sit and do a continuous task without being distracted easily, and it's a distinct sign of ADHD, and commonly found in children from younger years to the teenage years, and are mostly influenced by it than adults. But that's not all, because our state of social well-being can suffer as well. You see, things that we may like doing on a daily basis, such as gambling, gaming, or other similar activities, can help people feel more included, help them feel as if they're a part of something that's bigger and better. But what they don't realize is that because we like to occupy our time this way, it can lead to bankruptcy, which may be an extreme case, but a very sad truth, thus leading to not having enough money to support ourselves, let alone our family. Spending too much time on these types of things can also deteriorate the way we connect with family and friends. It can also be the cause of being absent during family event, family time, or just hanging out with friends, both physically and mentally, because we'd rather stay at home playing online instead of having a meaningful conversation with somebody or going out and having fun with others and meeting new people. Though the internet does bring people together and allow them to contact each other without having to be at the same place at the same time, there are negative parts to this because there's no face-to-face interaction, which we all know strengthens communication skills. A national analysis done by scientists at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine suggests that adults from ages 19 to 32 who use social media and computers relentlessly tend to feel as if they are socially isolated, which basically means when somebody feels as if they don't belong with society or feel as if they are a social outcast. But what we don't realize is that many people feel as if they are disconnected with their families and friends, even when they're in the same room. You see, computers aren't all good, and as you can see, they can cause harm or damage to anybody, both socially and mentally. And the end result is not only frightening for you, but for those around you.
Although computers are seen as our handy friend, they may be the biggest contributors to various complications within the consumer, that's you, and your well-being. Let's first discuss the many chemicals involved with the hardware components that make up the computer. These components contain chemicals which are harmful to the human body through excessive exposure. Lead poisoning is a well-known complication. However, are you aware the CRT cathode ray tube may contain 2.2 kilograms of lead, which can harm your body through multiple mediums, for example fumes, food contamination, and skin absorption. Since many activities, even games and education, involve technology extensively, however, it doesn't catch anyone's attention that the developing bodies of children are not suitable to withstand lead. Although lead is dominant throughout the circuit board, there is also substantial use of mercury, beryllium, and cadmium to formulate various connectors, switches, and wires. When someone comes in contact with mercury, they experience skin irritations, whether it's itching, burning, or discoloration. Although not all symptoms are distinct and visible to get treated, mercury can also affect offspring through brain and kidney damage or be passed to an infant through breast milk. Cadmium is mostly found in the coating of monitor glass or in chips and wires. Even if cadmium covers a small portion in the overall composition of a computer, it can have severe effects on the human respiratory system. The inhalation of this chemical builds up in the lungs and restricts the normal function of the respiratory system. Beryllium is a preeminent alkaline earth metal that is evident in many computers as it is combined with copper to be alloyed to bring a stronger resistance to corrosion in chips. However, according to the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, contact with beryllium results in respiratory disease and is considered a carcinogen. Not only can this metal cause cancer, it affects the liver, kidney, heart, and nervous system. Another chemical that is used within computers is brominated flame retardants, which has a function of preventing chips from being very flammable. Although this chemical may seem like it's beneficial for the human health as it prevents the danger of combustion, it is currently being studied and further proven that it has links to diabetes, neurobehavioral development disorders, cancer, reproductive defects, and dysfunctional thyroid functions. It is well known that chemicals do affect the human health. However, it is rare for these chemical catastrophes taking place, and there's multiple ways of tackling the issue if it did occur. However, one constant issue that plays a major role in human health is radiation. Computers rely on two types of electromagnetic radiation, also known as EMRs, which are low frequency and radio frequency EMRs. These types of radiation are possible carcinogens and connected to asthma, Alzheimer's, depression, and hormone imbalances. The interesting concept about the electromagnetic radiation is the electromagnetic field it forms is strongest at the source, being the computer, and it decreases away from the source at different rates. Low frequency radiation is easy to avoid as the field decreases at a rapid rate. However, radio frequency radiation extends to a greater distance as it is harder to avoid. Some tips and tricks to avoid the radiation at a certain rate is to use wired items and alternatives rather than wireless, as wireless items have a greater electromagnetic field. You should also be 12 inches away from your flat LCD or LED screen since they produce less electromagnetic radiation compared to old computers.
In today's society, many people rely heavily on computers to assist them in their daily lives. For others, a computer may be required as a dedicated workspace. No two people are the same, and the goal of ergonomics is to strive and achieve the best possible fit for its beholder. Now, you're probably wondering what I mean when I say the term ergonomics. Well, ergonomics refers to the process of designing or arranging a workplace, product, or system such that it meets the physical and mental requirements of the person who uses them. In other words, ergonomics is a branch of science which aims to understand human abilities and physical limitations, and then apply this understanding to workplaces, products, or systems to improve human interaction. When the term ergonomics is mentioned, many people automatically assume that it relates to seating or design. Ergonomics does relate to those things, but it is far more complex than just that, and requires many factors to be taken into consideration. The term ergonomics can realistically apply to anything we do or use in our daily lives, such as workspaces, health and safety equipment, utensils, etc. As the world around us changes and technology advances, the state of progression for ergonomics will have to remain similar to ensure the tools we use for work purposes are designed to meet our body's specific requirements. Now, you might also be wondering why ergonomics are important. In the US alone, employers pay almost $1 billion per week to their employees for worker compensation costs. A recent study conducted indicated that lower back pain is one of the most common ergonomic-related injuries, along with neck pain, largely infecting employees of jobs in office spaces and agriculture. Ergonomics plays a key role in the success of a task or design, meaning having an ergonomic workstation for one can drastically increase work efficiency, improve productivity, and improve safety, while also reducing compensation costs. There are many easy things one can do to decrease the risk of obtaining an ergonomics-related injury or illness. An ergonomic office chair has many adjustable features built into the unit itself, but will not function as intended unless its owner is knowledgeable on its operation and understands basic ergonomic rules. To correctly adjust an ergonomic office chair, follow these simple steps. When changing the seat height, sit as far back in the chair as possible and adjust the height until your feet are flat against the floor and your thighs are parallel to the floor with your knees and hips at 90 degrees. Other factors can be altered within a workstation, such as the keyboard, monitor, and wrist placement. When altering keyboard tray position, ensure you sit close to the keyboard and mouse so that your upper arms rest in a relaxed position. Also ensure your wrists remain straight and no strain is placed on shoulders and elbows. Keeping the monitor in use at least an arm's distance away and at eye level keeps strain off the neck and will ensure a straight posture. Implementing these few simple tips will drastically improve comfort while in a workplace and will also increase productivity. The final major tip is to not slouch.
Although computers are highly beneficial to our daily lives, they leave long-term effects on our health. Computers affect our mental, physical, and emotional health every day. It's almost as if computers are controlling us. Now that's a question we leave you with today.